Chris Talerica says Trey's doesn't need to ask for a trade. From here on out, he's auditioning for his next team. Yeah, if he plays well and Brock comes back, he could just get the trade,
I was thinking on the same trade topic about the way quarterbacks drafted top 5, top 10, right? And it's like, you think of all the ones in the last 10, 15 years, a lot of them get viewed as busts. I'm wondering, is Trey Lance going to get viewed as a bust? Or I think it's going to depend. And I start diving more, because, we call Jamarcus Russell a bust, Ryan Leaf, all these guys, Josh Rosen. Is Trey Lance going to be the bust? I think in this situation, it's so unique. You're going to have to say, I think the Niners, kind of, just kind of ruined
botched.
him. Almost
Botched.
They whiffed. They swung and missed hard and fell flat on their face, especially if he goes somewhere and actually plays well. He doesn't have to play great, but if he plays well, if he's teetering around top 10, top 15 quarterback, which is something the Niners would have loved, then I think it's probably, you kind of really, you not only over-evaluated him, overdrafted him, and or you failed him miserably developing and bringing him up. And it did start at first, right? When they had Rich Scangarello, he's the one that's leaking and everything, stuff like that, which also happens to be the
allegedly. We don't know. Allegedly, we don't know.
I think he did, and he's just and the things
don't get sued by Rich Scangarello.
He ruined Will Levis, Levi's, whatever his name is, this year too. That everyone says I've seen hey, if you want to watch Will Levis's tape, don't watch this past year. Why Rich Scangarello? And I'm like, damn, man, the hate for this. Even Kentucky.
They fired Scangarello in November, man. They didn't even wait till December. They was like, goodbye.
So I'm wondering how much of influence he really had so much in college years. It's I can't work with this guy, but it's just, it's not like the Niners were working with Trey. It all started really because of 2021 when they didn't just say, hand him the keys. I mean, I guess they were kind of justified in a way because they did go as far as the NFC Championship game. That's great. That's the only way that they can hold on to. But in terms of big picture, it's you guys kind of screwed the pooch on this one. Rather than having him, Trey Lance, work on the side throughout the season, you just had him run your scout team quarterback. So instead of developing into the guy you wanted, you're developing him week by week into the player you wanted him now. Everything is short term.
That's
true. Starting with Garoppolo for the season was short term, and having him scout team every week was short term. At least if you're gonna have
now you're emulating other quarterbacks, that doesn't help you be who you need to be. That's a really good point. It's a great point, man.
It just doesn't make sense. Everything was handled, so that's why I never understand the over criticism. Trey, he has faults, and but it's because who's working with him? Who's doing that?
Also, one more thing. Recently, the Niners have said we kind of hope that he develops into a Jalen Hurts type, but he's not exactly the athlete. This is what Albert Breer said, right? We kind of hope he has that Jalen Hurts trajectory, but he's not exactly the athlete we thought. Hold on. Jalen Hurts didn't turn into Jalen Hurts because the Eagles hoped he would. They developed him. They stuck by him when he was struggling. They had the long view. They committed to the process. They had coaches who could develop quarterbacks. The Niners over here hoping and praying, wishing. Are you kidding? Well, that means that Trey Lance is never going to work out here. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
They took a guy who looked like a glorified running back in Jalen Hurts. I remember I used to say no, Lamar Jackson slander was way too much. But Hurts, though, I was Hurts might be a running back. Because in Oklahoma, it was all this guy does is running. He runs 20 times a game and throws 15 times a game. My God, you watching this, not even just the Super Bowl all season long, but especially on the Super Bowl and the grandest stage, all the pressure on him, the guy is just throwing dimes and bombs all day. I'm like, God damn, he could have been MVP.
And go back to look at his trajectory. Okay, so we saw he played the Niners 3 times in the last 3 years. In 2020, he was the backup, okay? He came in and was doing jet sweeps and end arounds as a gadget player with Carson Wentz as the quarterback. That's where he started. I'm thinking this guy is trash. Yep. That's how they're using him. Then the next year he's a starter and is okay. I mean, they scored 11 points and lose to the 49ers. He has some nice plays, but he doesn't look like an MVP candidate. Then in year 3, he's a freaking MVP candidate. Wow, that's really a testament to the Eagles.
Yeah,
that's how you can develop a quarterback if you do it right. Niners over here hoping and praying. The hoping and praying method.
Because right now it just feels like Trey Lance is just developing himself. Quincy Avery, whatever else he has, and it's God damn, it's pretty much is Kyle even? Kyle's not developing him. The comment you just said 3 minutes ago, it's like Kyle, do you even want to develop this guy? It's I don't.
Kyle doesn't develop quarterbacks. Kyle doesn't develop quarterbacks. What Kyle? This is why he loves Brock.
Who does he develop?
Neither does Brian Greasy. This is why they love Brock, because Brock came into the league with all the basics down. He can get in and out of the huddle. He can get under center. He can call the play. He can hand it off. He can throw all the short passes. All the basics that should be easy to teach that Kyle doesn't teach, Brock has down. Trey still needs to learn the basics. Who's going to teach him? No one on the 49ers. Well, he's in trouble. He could learn in Philly. Sorry, Trey.
Because the key thing with Trey is time, and that's something Kyle Shanahan doesn't have that in his arsenal. He doesn't have the patience for young players, defense, offense, special teams, coaches, and
doesn't have the patience.
He doesn't want, because the same all those little intricacies you just mentioned, the little things. He's like, dude, this is something college people should be teaching him, not me.
Right. Exactly.
That's time intensive. I'm over here trying to add new wrinkles to my playbook. You want me to cheat this guy?
Exactly. Exactly. And there's two types of coaches. To me, most coaches are teachers at heart. Kyle is not a teacher at heart. Kyle is a scheme guy. He's all about his plays and his designs and his patterns and his X's and O's. So when it comes to like actually player growth, man, that's someone else's job. And the Niners have some good position coaches who do it really well. Linebacker, they've been doing it for years. Brian Greasy, I'm sure he did a good job with Brock Purdy and telling him, like showing him like what to expect, like the pressures of being an NFL quarterback. But in terms of fundamentals, but Purdy had that down before he got here. And any quarterback that Kyle Shanahan coaches is going to have to be that way, because Kyle and his staff have nothing to offer a quarterback in terms of mechanics, fundamentals, nothing. Monsature says Kyle will not vocally support Trey because he wants people to believe he's limited. He treats everything like it's his offense. He's secretive and wants to catch people off guard, annoying C- coach.
Yeah. I'm not gonna throw Brian Greasy into that loop yet, because he barely got his hands on Trey Lance. Maybe if it was like I said, he got injured by the time Jimmy Garoppolo got injured and he played that many games. What was it, like 10 games at that point? Then I'd have been like, okay, yeah, what the hell is Greasy doing? What is he doing? Like, you had 10 games. We should have seen some type of jump, whether it was like 10%, 20%. But I'm not. I'm all for the Kyle Center. I'm like, oh, you know what, Greasy, because you know what, with Garoppolo, he looked actually better, and Purdy. Greasy might be the guy who's doing all the work, the heavy lifting.
But hold on. To Monsa's point, I think it's interesting. You have someone like Andy Reid or other coaches who are like, man, my quarterback is super. Harbaugh was like that. My quarterback is a super quarterback and he's a cape. That's what Reid is like, always boosting him up. With Kyle, kind of seems like he wants people to think that he is overcoming his quarterback's limitations. Like, look, I'm going to keep it real. He's decent, but he ain't that great. And I'm overcoming and I'm making him look better than he is. And I'm the star here. He doesn't come out and say it explicitly like that, but I do think that's the way he likes it. And it's the way it is. That's the way I see it. Chance Pot says, yeah, Grant, could I send you a Jordan Mason jersey? I know you want one. Did you hear John Lynch say?
Without customizing it?
I don't know. I think you have to customize it. No, Chance, you get it for yourself though. Rock it. I'm not a Niner fan. I could never wear it. But
he wears a tattoo.
Did you hear yesterday?
Yesterday,
Lynch was asked about Christian McCaffrey. He's like, oh man, we got plenty of depth. We got Elijah Mitchell. We got Ty Davis Price. And we got Jordan Mason behind him. I was like, what do you mean you got Jordan Mason behind Ty Davis Price? You kidding? Ty Davis Price isn't going to make the team this year.
TDP didn't even got less carries than Jordan Mason did all year.
Hot take.
Less touchdowns.
Hot take. TDP's getting cut. Sorry, TDP. Unless Elijah Mitchell gets hurt and missed all the training camp. You're getting cut. They're not keeping four.
That 4, 5?
4.
Okay, 4. One of them will
they can put him on that.
But then they're going to have to carry through quarterback. Damn. Yeah, some of the fat's going to have to get trimmed.
The chef says Trey Lance will take 2023 by storm. McCaffrey equals key. That's interesting, man. That's a good point. That McCaffrey, Trey Lance thing, the run game, I just want to see what the Niners run game could be like with Trey Lance as a decoy, where he's not running it. I bet you it could be a lot like it could be as good as Philly or Chicago.
That's a lot of moving pieces now you can mess with, and just to do a lot of trickeration. That's like it can almost just like play. It's almost like playing with your food now with the defense. It's just going to be a lot of trickery.
Edgardo says this team is not a win now. They are limited by Kyle like his father. Ego, too many holes on the squad. Well, we got free agency coming up in 2 weeks. Let's see what they do. Last Second Sports gets a free comment because he's on the show. It says, Lance checks all the boxes physically and mentally. He just doesn't check the experience box. Making sweeping statements on a kid like that as if he can't be the future is naive. I agree. And again, people are saying, I really would like him to be the next Jalen Hurts. Go back and look at Jalen Hurts' first 4 starts. Compare him to Lance's. Lance's numbers are better. You got to be patient with it. And we were saying Jamarcus Russell. Dude, Jamarcus Russell got to start 25 games in the NFL.
Because we don't blame that on the Raiders, right? We don't blame it on the Raiders. I mean, for drafting him, yeah, but like we don't blame him for developing him. It's clear that he was a bust.
Like he got to start 25 games. Ryan Leaf got to start 20 plus games. You can't say anything about a quarterback after 4 games. They didn't even come in a row. They were essentially with a different team every time. He's only played 1 game with George Kittle, won that game, never played a game with Christian McCaffrey. Meanwhile, Brock Purdy was playing with a full house most of the time. The one guy he didn't have for a while was Debo Samuel, and that was almost didn't matter last year. Monster Toure says Greasy sucks with mechanics too. Grant was better. I just want to say that I pointed it out with Trey, the left leg lock, and everyone was like, you know what you're talking about? And then there was a bunch of articles like, that was the exact issue with Jalen Hurts. Thank you. All right, moving on. The front leg lock, locking out your front leg too much, too quickly when you pass.